welcome to Poetry Changes Lives special edition. Today I'm talking about a poem that really moves me, that is well known but perhaps not quite as well known as some. I think it's a wonderful poem by George Seferis, the Greek-born, though quite anglicised, writer of the early 20th century. He wrote some wonderful poetry that is very much appreciated, not just by his countrymen, but by people all over the world. Some of it he wrote in Greek, some in English, some's in translation. I love this one that's called The King of Asine. It was inspired to him by really Homer's Iliad, where there is just one mention in it of a king of Asine being one of the people, one of the Greeks who besieged the city of Troy. But that's all we know about it. Yet in ancient Greece, and the ruins are still there today, there is a huge fortress called Ăsine. And Seferis and a friend were sightseeing, basically. This is probably over 100 years ago, when there was less tourism everywhere, of course, but there were still the ruins and the things to see. And Seferis and a friend were looking at the ruins of this huge, forgotten citadel of Ăsine on the Greek mainland, and wondering about this mysterious king of Asine, who Homer mentions only once. And it all becomes a sort of metaphor for what happens to great men, or indeed any man, after they die. Do they live on in some way? And if so, how? And who remembers them? I think it's a very beautiful poem. See what you think of this. The King of Asine by George Seferis. All morning long we looked around the citadel, starting from the shaded side, there where the sea, green and without lustre, breast of a slain peacock, perceived us like time without an opening in it. Veins of rock dropped from high above. Twisted vines, naked, many-branched, coming alive at the water's touch, while the eye, following them, struggled to escape the monotonous seesaw motion, growing weaker and weaker. On the sunny side, a long empty beach and the light striking diamonds on the huge walls. No living things, the wild doves gone, and the King of Asine, whom we've been trying to find for 2 years now, unknown, forgotten by all, even by Homer. Only one word in the Iliad, and that uncertain. Thrown here like the gold burial mask. You touched it, remember its sound? Hollow in the light, like a dry jar in dug earth. The same sound that our oars make in the sea. The King of Asine, a void under the mask, everywhere with us, under a name. Asinete, Asinete. And his children's statues, and his desires, the fluttering of birds, and the wind in the gaps between his thoughts, and his ships anchored in a vanished port. Under the mask, a void. Behind the large eyes, the curved lips, the curls carved in relief on the cold gold cover of our existence. A dark spot that you see travelling like a fish in the dark calm of the sea. A void everywhere with us. And the bird, a wing broken, that flew away last winter. Tabernacle of life. And the young woman who left to play with with the dog teeth of summer, and the soul that sought the lower world gibbering, and the country like a large plain leaf swept along by the torrent of the sun, with the ancient monuments and the contemporary sorrow. And the poet lingers, looking at the stones, and asks himself, does there really exist among these ruined lines, edges, points, hollows and curves, does there really exist, here where one meets the path of rain, wind and ruin, does there exist the movement of the face, shape of the tenderness of those who've waned so strangely in our lives, those who remained the shadow of waves and thoughts with the sea's boundlessness? Or perhaps no, nothing is left but the weight, the nostalgia for the weight of a living existence. There, where we now remain unsubstantial, bending like the branches of a terrible willow tree, heaped in unremitting despair, while the yellow current slowly carries down, rushes uprooted in the mud, image of a form that the sentence to everlasting bitterness has turned to stone. The poet abode. Shield-bearer, the sun climbed warring, and from the depths of the cave a startled bat hit the light as an arrow hits a shield. Ασίνην, Ασίνην. If only that could be the King of Asine we've been searching for so carefully on this Acropolis, sometimes touching with our fingers his touch upon the stones. Gosh, I think you need to read that a couple of times, really. It's so beautifully put, how the poet and his friend are sort of wandering round the ruins and thinking to themselves, you know, does anything at all remain of people after they die? Not just the King of Asine, but of us all. And he puts it, maybe yes, or perhaps no. Nothing is left but the weight, the nostalgia for the weight of a living existence. That's such a weirdly profound way of putting it. The nostalgia for the weight of a living existence. I think we can sort of recognize that sort of longing for people that we remember who are no longer with us. And we just wonder, you know, where are they? Do they still exist? They exist in our minds. That nostalgia for the weight of a living existence. Such a profound poem. I love reading it and just thinking about it. Hope you like that. Thanks for listening.